recommend that you don't venture too far away from the little piece of boat with the skull that you see on the left, because then you're going to start pulling monsters. And let's just talk a bit first. So this is basically the group dungeon for the party world. The story of the party world, a grosso modo, it goes like, there is an evil parrot. He's being kind of corrupted by this evil force and being turned into a ghost. This might sound familiar from things like Monkey Island. We go with kind of like a Monkey Island vibe here, right? And he has a whole cohort of pirates. There's skeleton pirates, there's ghostly pirates, there's other kinds of evil creatures. But the good pirates are on your side. We thought that the fantasy of being a pirate for the kids is that you don't want to be the jackets, you don't want to be the soldiers, right, or the army. You want to be the pirates, and you go to go around and plunder and get treasure and be a little bit mischievous, right, like pirates are. So whenever you see basically undead pirates, they're bad, kill them. Whenever you see good fleshy pirates, they're good, they're your friends. Alright? And this treasure island, you can get to this place after you played through a portion of the pirate world, and then this is basically a group dungeon. You're expected to come here with other people, up to 4 people in total, but it will work well also if you're alone. The dungeon scales automatically. I recommend you now that you play around with the abilities a little bit with the minifigures. Remember, is left click to move, right click for a special attack, Q, W, and E to switch between the minifigures. Just try them all, see what they can do. Yeah. Some of them will have charge ups on the right click, some of them will not. Some of them will have things that they might look a bit simple in the beginning, but then you will find ways to combine them in creative, to create creative teams, basically. We have also given you minifigure bags that you can access with the button on the bottom right corner. That's your collection GUI. You will see there's a lot of missing minifigures there, but if you go to the top right corner, you will see there's a bag button with a number 3 on it. You can open minifigure bags there. Also, the demo it has full sound, and I recommend you play with the headphones as well if you want. You want to leave an ear open so I can talk to you, so you can hear me. Otherwise, it can get a bit loud. So I would just recommend that you now open some of the bags and see which minifigures you get, and just read a little bit about them and see if you like them better or not, and if you want to switch what you have or not. We prepare the starting 3 minifigures, so they have something going on for them already. Some of them have synergies. There's a group, the one that has the Heroic Knight. I think I saw a Heroic Knight in one of the groups. Well, if you see a Heroic Knight, that group is very, very, very tanky. So you can go in there and take a lot of damage, and you're going to be fine. And the one with is the one with the fairy, I think. The one with the Roman Emperor is very good at keeping monsters away from you. Just explore abilities and see what you can do with them. I'm gonna just be turning around here and see things. If you need any help with any of the GUIs, just let me know. Okay.
We can equip the new figures for the demo? Or no?
Yes, just go, once you have opened the bags, find them in the collection GUI, which is the side-scrolling roulette thing. Okay. Yeah. And then press on the equip button and choose which slot you're going to put it. The equip button is underneath each minifigure. As you see, you will see that this lightning bolt symbols and shield symbols over your heads, those are basically power-ups that you pick up. They are equivalent to what damage in Quake. And they drop randomly of monsters, and they increase the damage you do or the armor that you have, the defense that you have. You will also see that some of the monsters drop those bricks, like multicolor bricks. They are one of the elements that we use for character progression. In this case, the bricks are used to kind of fine-tune your set of minifigures, so you can have a bit more health, or you can do a bit more damage. Yeah. play around with the projectiles that bounce because they are actually real projectiles. They use real physics, and you can do trigonometric attacks if you want. You can just bounce, hit things behind corners and things like that. And I recommend smashing everything you see too, because pretty much everything you destroy will give you something. They will give you either power-ups or breaks, or some of them have a chance to drop bags, so you can get new minifigures. And you can also get yellow stars. As you see, they're accumulating on the top left, under your health bar. Those are basically the tokens that you use to upgrade the minifigures. Yeah.
Those happen as you're killing things?
Yes.
Okay, as you're... I
basically,
see a side pop out, there it is.
Yeah. It happens basically as you do anything, pretty much anything in the game. That was one big explosion for my Dr. Guramidi. Our concept for how to create the content and how to populate the playfields is we want people to run through them and just run around and smashing everything, killing every monster they see, and completing every quest that they see. I mean, just trying to figure out which things can be smashed and which things cannot. And over time, you see the language that we use. Like those red flower bushes, they always drop a heart, for example. And we have them in many places, right? So you will know this, and then when you see you're dropping low health, you just go and destroy one of these bushes to get a heart, right? We do basically constant rewards, constant positive reinforcement. In our focus test, we have found that it's very important that kids have this constant flow of positive reinforcement. So we just give you reward for pretty much everything. Yeah.
So I assume you're probably building in a lot of sort of random silliness, because I played a lot of the LEGO games, and that's what's fun for me, is just trying stuff, seeing what happens.
There's a lot of space for exploration in the game on the minifigure ability combinations, which minifigures you choose to be in your team, how you choose to upgrade them, because some of the upgrades modify the properties of the abilities. Yeah. I'm going to try to demonstrate the Sea Captain ability. It's pretty useful. So we have these Defender archetype minifigures, which are basically tanks, but we focus the way to tank monster with car control. Because in this game, there's no monster that's going to hit you so hard that you need to be a specialized tank to survive. We don't want a Holy Trinity. We don't have a Holy Trinity in place, right? So this is more, well, okay, I can feel the difference. I take less damage, so I can stay in for longer. I don't need to drink so many healing potions. But also, you tank by car controlling monsters. So the Sea Captain has this anchor that when you place it down and monsters try to run away from it, they get pulled back into the anchor. That means you're not getting hit by anything. Your friends are not getting hit by anything because monsters are constantly being pulled away, and you can just do damage freely, right? So that's one way to tank. And we've been fighting tigers, monkeys, and skeleton pirates, and now we're going to be moving into an area that's a bit more dangerous. These are islanders. They are from the very, very old classic pirate sets. You will find these guys. And they have, there's 3 different types, and each one of them does a different thing. But when they work together, they can be pretty dangerous. Because some of them place traps on the ground and make you walk very, very slowly. And then the shamans drop these red circle totems from the sky that if you don't move out of the circle, you're going to take a ton of damage. So basically, these monsters are all around trying to snare you, slow you down, so they can hit you with the big enemies. So we just entered what we call an area quest location. Area quests are our version of quests, except that you don't pick them up from an NPC, they just happen naturally when you enter this area. There's no hassle involved, there's no question marks and exclamation marks, which are a language that doesn't work on kids because it's something that we have learned over time, and they don't have this knowledge, so it's not enough to communicate what's going on in these places. So we decided to move away completely from the classic MMO question mark, exclamation, pick up delivery quest system. And here you get an area quest when you enter a location. You can just get progress doing multiple different activities in this area, like building this lighthouse, for example. And then when you complete the request, you get rewards, which also happen automatically on the spot. You don't have to go deliver to any NPC or anything like that. We found that on our focus test also that kids were more interested on the fact that they got a splash screen. You have a quest now. You have to do this, and oh, congratulations, you completed this is your reward, than on the actual quest activity itself. So that's basically where we focus our effort. Building is completely co-op. You can just help each other build, and it will add the values, and it will build faster. And you use a created minifigure, you will be much faster as well. So in this event, every time you build a lighthouse, and we try to add these little bonus events all the time, you get some good pirates to help you fighting the islanders. And you get a chunk of progress. But you could also just completely ignore the buildings. You don't care about them, you completely ignore them, just go ahead, kill things, and smash crates or barrels, and you get the progress as well. I think we're almost done with this quest. Just try, I encourage you to try all the different minifigures that you got and see what they have and see how it works in combat, because some of the abilities are not immediately, they might look not immediately useful, but then again some of the monster abilities, they become really useful. So, Mr. Good and Evil, which is the one I'm using, you can see how sometimes he puts like these purple or green circles on the feet of monsters. That's another one of our pretty advanced mechanics. We try to create a good selection of simple, easy to use minifigures versus advanced minifigures that are basically meant for power users, right? So he can put these circles on the feet of the monsters, hit them with the green potion, and then use a purple potion to detonate them. And the more circles they have, the bigger the effect of the detonation, right? The trendsetter, I want to talk about here specifically, and in general all our female minifigures. We had this funny case in our focus test. We were kind of worried that the kids, because the target audience is majority boys, right? So we were worried that they would not like the female minifigures. There is a lot of female minifigures in the minifigure sets, and we were surprised when we tried with them. We get them a fairy, basically like a forest fairy minifigure, and we were expecting a little bit of a negative reaction from the boys, but it was quite the opposite. They were like, oh, why would you think that? One kid, he just told us, we said, oh, so what do you think about the fairy? Do you think she's as powerful as the other minifigures? And she said, well, I find that comment a bit sexist.
I love it. That's awesome.
That was a 9-year-old kid in one of our focus tests in New York.
That shows people are evolving. Good thing.
Yeah. So something that we do is we try to make the female minifigures be as powerful or more than the male minifigures, and some of them have pretty complex mechanics because we think that that's a way to reinforce it as well, right? So some of the more deeper kind of cross synergies you will find on the actual female minifigures in the game. And the male minifigures are they're designed to be more like warrior-like and soldier-like, so they get the more straightforward combat abilities. Yeah. That doesn't mean that's pretty strong warrior female minifigures though, so this a mix of everything. So this thing in front of us now, this is what we call a boss shield. This marks the beginning of a special event. Once you cross this wall, it turns red, you cannot cross it, you cannot get out of this place. And we use this to mark areas where there's mini-bosses, like for example Tika Bomba, which is that giant tiki statue in the middle. He's a mini-boss and he's much tougher than the creatures around it, but he's constantly summon ads that you have to get rid of when you defeat him. And you cannot leave these areas until the event is complete. And right before each one of these areas there's a resurrection point, so you fail, then you are right at the entrance, you have to start again. But we use this basically as kind of step up the challenge a little bit and basically create skill tests in the game. You need to be able to be good enough to understand what's happening here and defeat this encounter to be able to continue. This event, for example, if you don't handle the ads properly, you will get overwhelmed. But we're doing a pretty good job, I think.
And then you do the melee character, and then you dash into combat and damage everything around you.
Of course, the damage is tuned to be quite easy, and there will be harder, higher level versions of dungeons which are much harder, and you cannot just sit in the fire like in this one and be okay, right? Don't forget that you have the healing potion on number 1 if you get in trouble. So there you go. This is again back to the just make the screen glow and explode and give you like a reward for completing events. Now the game is also packed with what we call secret areas or secret locations. Like this one, for example, I smashed these cards here, and then we get access to this area. It's completely optional, but if you find it and you defeat these monsters here, and then you go to that cage and smash it, you free the chicken soup guy, and he is one of our kind of comedy relief elements or characters in the game. He is basically always lost. He always managed to get captured, trapped, fall into pits, get under things, and you're constantly rescuing him. And if you keep rescuing him in the game, you keep unlocking these achievements, and at the end you get the minifigure. So that's one of the ways to unlock minifigures in the game as well, just by completing secret challenges, basically. These little spiders, they don't do a lot of damage, but they can surround you. So this is an area where it pays off to have a minifigure that can do area damage. Like for example, the Mr. Good and Evil can do area damage with explosions, and the Judge has a right click that does a ton of area damage. The Librarian has a cone attack, like a fire attack. If you hold the mouse button, you will just keep spitting fire. Yeah. So you can go ahead. I'm going to switch one of my minifigures to do more AoE. There we go. The DJ is one of the favorite minifigures that we tried in the focus tests. The kids just love the DJ, but this was funny, they were a bit confused about what is it that he's carrying on his hand. Because he's carrying a vinyl record, right?
Oh yeah.
But the kids are like, what is this? Is that a CD? What is that? Because of course they don't know.
Yeah.
They also know what a vinyl record is. So, yeah. Sometimes you get this kind of adults will get it instantly, as like this cool, or actually people in their 20s, people that go out and party and stuff. Okay, he drops the bass. There's a lot of like popular culture references there. But well, for some of the kids it just flies over their heads, but that's okay because the minifigures is still funny. The spider eggs you can completely avoid if you don't get too close to them, actually. So they're kind of like traps.